Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we're looking at the Todd Knife and Tool Master Chief. And before we get into it, I just want to make a note. These hanks right here are from the 400-pound gorilla. He just out of the blue sent me 5 of these hanks, and I really appreciate it, Mr. Gorilla. And if you guys don't know, the 400-pound gorilla, and he did not ask me to say this, he is putting these hanks up over on Instagram for a very, very reasonable price. So you should probably get over there and check him out if you're at all interested in hanks. It's at 400-pound gorilla, and it's spelled just like that, Guerrilla. You do need to be careful though, because he will do sneaky crap like this, and haven't decided for sure what I'm going to do with this one. It may get hung up and burnt. Anyhow, guys, that is something to think about here. What you have are people from your own community that are making things for you. We have these shivers out here. We have the hanks from 400-pound gorilla, and all kinds of other things. Bro Benzo was making lanyards. I'm not sure if he's still doing that or not, but these are all people from your community, the EDC and gear community, making awesome items at reasonable prices, and it's up to us to support them. Today we're going to talk about another one of those items. This is the Master Chief from Todd Knife and Tool. And what we get with a Master Chief is titanium slabs on both sides. Our relief cuts this time are nicely chamfered for your pleasure. Not ribbed, chamfered. We'll get to the ribs here in a minute. And we've got the 3 holes down here. And the 3 holes are becoming kind of a thing with Todd Knife and Tool. And if you don't like them, well, friends, you may need to go to a different brand, because, 3 big holes there, 3 holes here. 3 holes are becoming a thing. Not on purpose, though. And what we're also getting is larger hardware than the Raptor XL, and this is loosely based off the Raptor XL. However, if you remember from the Raptor XL, we've got a lot slimmer knife here, and that turns out very good. Like I said, larger hardware. We still have our relief cuts back here to expose. Man, my lights are playing funny with me. Expose the lanyard hole. Nice anodized hardware throughout. And then we roll around the back, we have the new version of the lint catcher. And I can attest to the fact that it works extremely well. It is like a magnet for all the lint in your pocket. And going on down the back spacer, just above the lanyard hole, we have a little bit of jimping there. And then we meet things back up. Whenever we go to the other end, we have a flipper tab. Oh my God, I talked the other day about not putting jimping on flipper tabs. Well, whenever we started using this one, we decided that it was a bit slickery. So whenever they end up a bit slickery, well, you got to do something to fix that, and that's why there are some very large jimping on that flipper tab. Enough to get a grip, not enough to hurt your finger. That's the whole point. And I told you we'd get to the other side and get to the ribbed for your pleasure area, and there you go. Pocket clip, anodized, of course. And this is one of my favorite designs of the pocket clip, and this wasn't even a planned thing. The first time Seth cut one of these out, it was more an I need a pocket clip for the knife I just finished, and this is what we got, and it was kind of due to the shape of the piece of titanium he had. And he's kind of continued it, and I think that's going to sort of become a thing, and I'm liking them. Not all of them are going to be ribbed for your pleasure, but some of them are, like this one. And we have another little detail that I really like down in here. Whenever we went in with the mill and cut these little ribs, if you will, didn't clean that back up and left just a little bit of that end mill texture down in there. And I like that a lot. And of course, this is the first prototype of the Master Chief. And now I guess I should get the blade out. I'm sure you guys are not happy with me so far because I haven't had the blade out yet. And there we go, 5 minutes in and we finally get the blade out. And there we have 3.6 inches of flat ground S35VN. We have our blade hole and this little hole here in the fuller. And up there at the top of the blade we've got a mohawk. See that? Got a little jimping on that mohawk. That comes into play when we get to ergonomics. And there you go. Like I said, flat ground, full flat ground, sharpened all the way to the plunge grinds. And just freaking gorgeous. This one's stonewash. We'll be doing lots of different blade finishes as time goes along, or maybe not. Stonewash seems to work really good and hide a lot of scratches no matter what Shabazz says. And there you go. It's pretty nice. We should probably talk about ergonomics because there's a big fat wad of stuff to talk about there. First thing is, you get it in your hand, it's just fine. You get it in a forward grip with your finger in this forward finger choil. Once again, just fine, no hot spots. We worked hard on that. Pull cuts, push cuts, pinch cuts of various sorts. You're all good. Stop looking at the boo-boo on my finger. That happens whenever the grinder bites. And, you know, we've talked about it, dozens and dozens of times now, but whenever you go with a simple handle, simple shapes, everything works. And here, that's what we've done. We've got this scoop here. Yeah, quit staring at that. I did some acid washing today, and sometimes that stuff just won't come out. Anyhow, I did some acid. Anyhow, this hook right here gives you a place to go in. And whenever you have to shred that box on the way home that jumps out of the alley, you're protected there. Your hand is protected. There's something to keep you from running up on the blade. That's why that's there. And then you got this just a little bit of swell, and that's to fill your hand. A little bit of drop right here. That's to give your thumb a place to land. And our little mohawk with a little bit of jimping on it. Once again, giving your thumb a place to land. Quit looking at the boo-boo, guys. And it was all pretty well thought out. Some of it happened. Some of it's been refined from model to model. But we're, in my opinion, we're getting really darn good with it. And I'm really liking it. There's going to be some minor changes on the, I believe we're calling it the MK2. I'd have to look at the paperwork, but for the most part, we've kind of got our handle design down on these XLs. Now, one thing that people have brought up is the size of this forward finger choil. Okay, I hear you, but listen up. Here's the reason it is the size it is. This is for controlled cuts. Whenever you need to get in there and make very fine little cuts. And I'm going to roll these back out of here. They're kind of distracting, even though they are pretty cool. Thanks, Gorilla. And if you are doing cuts that's going to push you forward, you need to have your hand back here. This is, the idea was in this grip to keep you as close to the edge termination here, or the start of the edge, if you will, without taking away this option for the choke up on it. Because we could have ran this edge all the way back and you wouldn't have had any place to choke up. We chose not to do that. I think we've got one blade out there rolling around that's cut like that. But we chose to put the forward finger choil in it so that you would have that option to choke up. And it gives you a good option, but it is not for any thrusting or stabbing maneuvers. It's for your EDC tasks. So that's why it is the size it is, and that's why it's not going to get bigger, because it's just there for those sorts of things. If you need to do heavier stuff, grab the knife back here. Don't get your hand anywhere near that edge. Stay back here where you're safe. And now, on to the things that we really need to look at, and things that maybe aren't thought of on all knives. In fact, they are in some cases. if you get a good look, it's things we don't notice. You see those milled out pockets right there? If you watched my GSD video, my unbagging of the GSD, that is important. This is another knife that wants the light switch. I mean, you can push button it, kind of, but as quick and good as the action is, and it is on bearings, guys, if I forgot to say that, but we're running on bearings, it wants the light switch. And if you're going to light switch something, you need an indexing spot for your index finger to know where to stop. And that's what those two little milled out areas right there are for. Even though this knife doesn't necessarily need it because of the shape right here. You're looking at that boo-boo again. Quit it. And as far as those indexing slots, our blade hole. The blade hole is kind of a big deal on this knife. It lets you open that knife nice and easy without, flipping it or making a lot of noise. It also gives you that opportunity to flip it open. And it's a little hard left-handed because, and I'm not going to get it. Well, maybe so. But those blade hole also has those indexing points to help you find it. And, until you've messed with a knife that has all of them on it, it really is an interesting thing. And a lot of different manufacturers do a lot of different things to give you that indexing point. This is what we've chose to do, and there's also a lot of manufacturers that don't give you an indexing point for nothing. The most important index points, in my opinion, though, are those two right there. And until I picked up the first one we did that to, which I think was the regular size Raptor, I didn't realize how important those two little pockets were. And, there's nothing to them. Just a couple of little milled out areas, but they do a number on telling you where your finger should be and what you should be doing. And it's just something I really like about our knives, and hopefully you guys will too. But that's what they're there for. That's what all those little pockets, why they're milled out, why that's milled out, why there's little pockets milled back there. It's not for looks, it's not for aesthetics. I mean, yeah, it kind of looks cool, but that's not why they're there. They're there to give you points to find where your fingers need to be on the knife. And it's really weird, but you put the knife in your hand, you run it up through there, and you know that blade hole's got to be there. Once you feel this, your finger automatically goes to the blade hole. It's kind of cool. Somehow, I don't know, there's probably some kind of psychological or some other explanation for why that happens, but it does. So anyhow, guys, this has been the Todd Knife and Tool Master Chief. And it won't be too many days, and hopefully we'll be looking at another version of the Master Chief. I need to get this one sent back down to Texas, along with that GSD. And, I may send down one of the Hanks, too, considering I was Navy and Seth was Marines. Should I send him this one, or do you think he'd burn it? Maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one. Anyhow, I really appreciate you sending down the Hanks, Mr. Gorilla, and don't forget to go check out his Instagram. Don't forget to check out the Todd Knife and Tool Instagram and my own Instagram. They are all linked down in the description, with the exception of the 400-pound Gorilla. And I'll put that one back up on the screen again right there, because he spells his Gorilla a little funny. It's at 400-pound, what you got right there, Guerrilla. And if you follow the Todd Knife and Tool or the Zelrick, at Zelrick42, I believe it is, it's all down in the description, Instagrams, you will see basically step-by-step builds of these Master Chiefs and whatever other folding knives that Todd Knife and Tool South decides to do. And you'll see as the various fixed blades come along up here at Todd Knife and Tool North. That's on the Zelrick 42 channel, folders on the Todd Knife and Tool channel, and of course we look at the folders here on the video channel. And you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And the one thing I forgot to say is there may be some field grade models of this Master Chief showing up for sale in the near future. So you want to watch that Todd Knife and Tool Instagram channel. And you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.